Okay, welcome to the video. So in this video, we'll be setting up Samba Active Directory on Ubuntu, specifically Ubuntu server. And then we'll be joining a Windows client to our server as well, or to our domain. So for this, I'll make a new Ubuntu machine, so Ubuntu DC, and I'm going to select an iOS image. I'm going to use Ubuntu server and skip unattended installation. So it's going to be skipped. And then the hardware is going to be 2 GB of RAM, and I'm going to give 4 cores. I will increase this to 4 GB for good measure, and this is 25 GBs. All right. I'm going to select finish, and then I'll go to settings, network, and you can see that adapter 1 is NAT, and I'm going to make the adapter 2 an internal network. Okay, so then I'm going to press OK. Right, then I'll start this machine. Enter. So you can see in this side, I've mentioned my domain is going to be fct.kel.ac.lk, and the domain controller IP is going to be 172.16.0.10, and the subnet mask is going to be /24, and the default gateway is going to be 172.16.0.1. Okay, right. So it's connecting. Okay, right. So the language is going to be English. Done. Ubuntu server minimized. Okay, okay. Search for third-party drivers. No. Okay, done. Okay, you can see the first one. The first interface got a IP 10.0.2.15. This is the NAT interface. And the second interface, you can see the ENP0S8. This is my internal network. So I'm going to edit the IP version 4. So I'm going to click it, edit IPv4, and I'm going to make it manual. Right. So let's give the subnet first. So this is going to be 172.16.00/24 subnet. And the address is going to be 172.16.0.10. And the gateway is going to be 172.16.0.1. And the name server is going to be 172.16.0.10, right? And then I'm going to save the configuration. Okay. Now I'll click done. And the proxy address, I'm not going to mention anything. I'm going to continue this. And I don't have anything to change here as well. And everything looks fine. Continue. And for the name, I'm going to use my name. For the server, I'll be using the same name as before. And the username is going to be the same. And the password is going to be 1234 in my case. And I'm going to say done. And I'll skip the Ubuntu Pro because I don't need it. I will install SSH server. And I'm going to say done. I'm not going to install any additional services. Click done. So I'll meet you when the installation is complete. Okay, so the installation is done. Now I get the message reboot now. So I will reboot the system. Okay, it's rebooting. Now it will automatically attempt to remove the mounted ISO file. Now again, re-attempting. So both time it said it's failed. So let me see, but it is removed already. Okay. So now it will boot. It will take some time. Yes. Also remember, so if you want to SSH to this server, you'll have to change the adapter to bridge and get the IP from there, and then you can SSH. Okay, so I'm not planning to SSH. I'm just going to straight away run the commands here. So I'll give my name and the password. Okay, clear everything. I'll try to ping to the server just to check whether I have the connection. I'm getting from, okay. The reason for this is actually, so you can see from 172.16.0.10, I'm getting a destination host unreachable because I'm using the internal network as the primary adapter. That's why. So I'll disable this for now. So I'll click this. Now that adapter is disabled and I'll clear everything. Now, if you ping, now you can see you have the connection, right? So if you want to only ping 3 packets, you can just say like this. And this will ping only 3 packets. Anyways, I'll disable and enable the adapters time to time. So now in this case, I disabled my internal adapter and I'm only working with the NAT adapter. Okay. Right. It's not going to be a big problem. First of all, let's check whether our date and time settings are correct. So time, date, CTL. You can see our time zone is not correct. So let's set the time zone. So sudo su, first I'll move to super user, right? So I'll clear everything now. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say time, date, CTL, set time zone. And from here, you have to set it for Asia/Colombo, right? It works. So let's check one more time whether it's updated now. Yes, okay, it looks fine. Then let's install NetTools, otherwise I will not be able to run this command. You can see it gives the prompt saying apt install NetTools. So I'll go for that, apt install NetTools. So now I'm installing the NetTools. Right. Now I have my NetTools. You can see, I can only see my NAT adapter because I disabled the previous one. But for now, I'll keep it disabled. Okay. The next command that you have to execute is actually update the system packages, right? So sudo apt update, and then you can say and apt upgrade. But I'm not going to run this because this is going to take some time. But when you are doing this, highly recommend you to run this. Okay. So then once you upgrade the packages, let's change our host name and the hosts file in our Ubuntu server. So the first thing first, let's access nano. I don't have to type sudo because I already got the root access. So I'm going to skip the sudo part. But if you didn't run the execute the command sudo su, you'll have to type sudo nano and then access the files. I'll go to hostname. And in here, you can see it's my name. So I'm going to change it to DC since this is our domain controller. Control X, and then I'm going to press Y and save the file. To double check, I'll access the file again. Now it's updated. So I'll clear everything in here. And then I'll access the next file. It is going to be the hosts. And in here, you can see I have the IP. So in here, the IP should be 172.16.0.10 because this is our DC IP. And then the name, we have to change it to dc.fct.kel.ac.lk and then space DC, right? So this maps your domain controller host name to its IP, right? Very simple. And Control X again, yes. And double check whether it's updated. Yes, it's updated. So I'm going to clear everything. Right. So once we did this, once we're done with these changes, it's good to reboot the machine. So I'm going to run reboot. So after rebooting the machine, I'll be installing actually 4 packages. One is going to be Samba, right? the Samba is required for domain controller role and for Samba tool and for sharing as well. Okay. Then there's another package called KRB5 config, which is the Kerberos authentication for our secure login, user ticketing for our Active Directory. And after that, the next package that I'm going to install is going to be WinBind, which is the package that is going to use to connect Linux to Windows domain, right? And the last one I'm going to use is going to be the SMB client, simply for testing, accessing network shares from terminal. So those 4 packages will be installed after the restart. So I'm going to post the video because I feel like the first restart might take some time. Okay, we are back and now it's DC login. So I'll give my username as it is. Password is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Declaring everything. Now let's install the packages that I mentioned. So sudo apt install by Samba KRB5 config. And then what is the next one? It's going to be WinBind. And after that, we are going to install the SMB client as well. Right. So let's press enter, password, and we are installing. So you can see it's like 106 MB of downloads. So it's going to take some time. So the download speed, as you know, it's going to depend on the connection. So if you are doing this in the faculty, this parts will finish pretty soon or very quickly. So it depends on your connection. So I'll be, I don't think I'll have to post this. So let's watch what's happening here. Still we're installing Samba. Now it's WinBind. Now some supporting packages are being installed. So once all the installation is done, the Kerberos configuration will pop up. And in there, we'll have to do some configuration. Okay, right. This is the Kerberos configuration that I mentioned. So the default Kerberos version 5 realm is autofilled to fct kel ac.lk, which is correct. So I'm going to say okay. Then the Kerberos server should be actually have a domain controller. So I'm going to say DC, or if it is the DC1, you have to mention that name, fct.kel.ac.lk. And I'm going to say okay. Same story here, dc.fct.kel.ac.lk. So if you have a different administrative server, you have to mention that here. But since this is going to be the same administrative server, in our case, I'm going to mention the same domain. So dc.fct.kel.ac.lk. Okay. Then press OK. Done. So I'll clear everything, go back to the top. So now we install Samba Kerberos packages. Now let's provision the domain, right? So before provisioning, let's back up the original SMB configuration just in case. So I'm going to say sudo move etc Samba and SMB config /etc Samba SMB conf dot. You can put whatever the proper extension. So I'm going to save it as .original. So then I know this is the original file that was there, right? This is basically backing up the existing file just in case. Right? So if you want to retrieve to the previous configuration, then you can copy back from the original file to here. So this is what I'm doing here. Then I'm going to press enter. So no errors. That means I copied my file. Then I'm going to start provisioning. So I'm going to say sudo Samba tool domain provision. Okay. Then the realm should be fct.kel.ac.lk. It is correct. The domain is fct. That's also correct. The server role is DC. It's also correct. The DNS backend, we have a bunch of options. We can go for Samba internal, bind 9, and bind DLZ. In this case, I'll keep it as Samba because I didn't install any bind or anything. And the DNS forward IP addresses for this, I'll use the 8.8.8.8 and also 4.2.2.2. Okay, so I'm going to use these external DNS servers for that, and then press enter. You can't use 1, 2, 3, 4 here. If you try to use it, you'll get an error like this, saying password does not meet the default minimum requirements. So because of that, I'll be giving a strong password. So all right. So now the provisioning is done. Right. So next thing, let's update the Kerberos config file. So let's say sudo copy /var /lib /samba /private /krb5.conf. So this is the file. We're going to copy it to /etc. Okay, sudo cp /var /lib lib /samba /private /krb5.config /etc. Then let's disable the conflicting services. Okay, so I'm gonna disable these services, sudo system control, and disable now smbd winbind, and then systemd resolved. Okay, so I'll be disabling these services first. Then press enter. So you can see now I've removed these services. Then I'll enable the Samba ADDC service. So first of all, before enabling this service is by default is a mask service. So if you try to run a mask service, what you get is you will get a message saying failed to start Samba ADDC service. Unit is masked, right? So because of that, you have to unmask it, right? Basically, a mask is the block. So you have to unblock it. So let's unblock this Samba service. So sudo systemctl unmask Samba ADDC. Right? So now we have unmasked the service. Now we can use it. So I'm going to say sudo systemctl enable now Samba ADDC. Now we are executing the service. Now it's done. So let's check whether our service is working. So simply we can actually check our domain level, right? Whether it's running like in Windows Server. I think you guys remember that when we when we check the server, like there's like a minimum requirement, like it should be 2008, the domain forest have at least 2008 servers likewise. So let's see the domain level now. So Samba tool, domain level. So most cases it should be 2008. So it is okay. So the lowest function level is going to be 2008, which is fine, right? Which is fine. So now let's configure our DNS resolution. So I'm going to clear this. First, let's remove the existing DNS resolution. So I'm going to say sudo remove /etc resolve.conf. So that means I'm removing the existing resolve file and I'm going to make a new one. So I'm going to say nano etc resolve conf. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say name server is going to be 127.0.0.1. And then the domain is going to be my domain fct.kel.azr. Okay, so this ensures your system resolves name using the Samba AD DNS. So that's what I'm doing here. Okay, so I'm going to close this. Just double check it whether if there's any spelling mistakes. Domain, nope, everything looks fine. So CTRL-X, press yes, and you move to the file. So I'll reopen the file just to check. Okay, everything looks fine. I'm going to clear again. Right. Now let's create a user in our domain, right? Because we need to log in using a Windows machine. So let's create a user here. So sudo samba to user create. Let's give the user as fct, or we can say, yeah, fct user 01, right? So remember this name, fc, not fcu, it should be fct user 01, okay? I'll take a photo of this in a case I forget, okay? And the password, I can't give 1, 2, 3, 4, so I'm going to give a strong password as well. Right. So the FCT user 1 created successfully. Before doing anything, let's check whether our domain and hostname resolution works, because otherwise we'll not be able to log in using our Windows machine. So first thing first, I'll ping 3 packets to fct.kel.az.lk. Yes, it's pinging successfully. Very good. And then I'll try to ping to my DC. Okay, take some time. I'm pretty sure why the DC is not working, because you can see the IP we are trying to ping is 172.16.0.10, but that interface is disabled from here. Now let's go back here. Let's connect this network adapter. Now it's connected. Let's try to run this command again. Let's see whether we'll get a good response. Yes, now it's working. Right, that problem is also fine. So 1 received, 2 lost. Again, I'll ping. Yes, now it's successful. Then let's try to ping to the just to the DC. Yes, it also works. Good. Then I clear everything and I'll see the IPs host t a fct.kel.az.lk. So address has 10.0.2.15. The reason is because I just enabled this interface. So we'll have to reboot, right? So let's reboot this and see whether we'll have the other IP as well. So for the reboot, I'm not sure how long it will take. So I'm gonna, oh no, it doesn't take a long time. So Akash 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So I'll run the same command now. Now you can see, I can see both interfaces, 172.16.0.10. Right. So our configuration is done from this end. Now let's move to our Windows computer. So I'm going to minimize this window and I'm going to run, or I'm going to start my Windows machine. Okay, so for this Windows machine, I deleted the previous machine because it was corrupted. So for this Windows machine, what I did was I gave 4 GB of RAM, 5 cores. And the important thing is the network adapter should be internal network, because we are connecting the two internal network adapters in this case. And press OK, and let's install Windows. Okay. Okay. We'll see. It takes some time now. So I'll pause the video. I'll finish the installation quickly. Okay, this menu came now. So next, install now. Okay. So in this case, I'll go with the standard installation. The first one, Windows 10 Pro. As you know, we have to go for a non-home installation to attach this Windows machine to a domain. I'll go for a custom install, select the hard disk, next. And now it's installing. Okay, here let's start the region. Let's see whether we have Sri Lanka here. Yes, next. And then, yes, keyboard layout, let's keep it US. And then skip. Let's say I don't have internet. Continue with limited setup. And I'll give the name as usual. And the password 1234. 1234. Then you have to give some security questions. Okay. And no, I don't need any of these services, so I'll disable everything. Okay, accept. Okay, so we are inside the machine now. So first thing first, let's change the IP address of this machine and try to ping to our server. So I'm gonna type ncpa.cpl. Okay, so from that you can go to the control panel. So ncpa.cpl. Here you can say it said unidentified network. That's fine. I'll disable IP version 6 because I don't need it at the moment, and I'm going to give the IP 172.16.0. The server was 10. I'll give this 120. The subnet mask should be 255.255.255.0, and the default gateway should be 16.0.1, and the preferred DNS is going to be my server DNS, so that means 16.0.10, right? I'm going to say okay. Okay. So it will take some time. Let's see. At the meantime, I'll open command line cmd and yes, now it's working. 192, so 172.16.0.10. Yes, I'm getting a reply. Looks fine. I'm going to run a ns lookup for that IP. Let's see. It says unknown. Still unknown. Okay, let's try to ping our domain then. fct.kel.az.lk. We get ping request could not find host. Interesting. So there is a small problem. So that means that's fine. Ping. Let's see whether our server is up. That's also required now. Okay. So let's try to ping to our. Oh, I have to check one more thing. I have to check whether we all are in the internal network. And also, I think I'll have to disable the other adapter, the network adapter. This is the NAT, so I'm going to disable it. And then let's try to ping again. Because in the previous case, there was an error. So let's try to ping our IP first. Yes, now it is also working. Ping fctkel.ac.lk. Okay. So we don't have clear here. All right. So everything looks fine. I can run the ns lookup now as well. It says unknown, but I feel like it might work. So ns lookup fct.kel.ac.lk. It says 72.16 something, but if I ping this, I do get the output. So let's try to log into the domain and see whether it actually works. I think that's the important thing. So, okay, go to properties, change adapter settings. No, not here. We have to go to this PC, right click properties, and from here, advanced system settings. You can change the computer name if you want. But in this case, I'll keep this name as it is. I'm not that worried about the name. So I'm going to go to domain and I'm going to type the domain fctkel.ac.lk. Yes, I'm getting the prompt. So I'm going to say administrator, and then I'll give my password, the strong password that I used. Now let's see whether we'll get the welcome message. Okay, it takes longer than I expected. We'll see. Yes, we are in. So we get the message, welcome to the fct.kel.ac.lk domain. Then they ask us to restart as usual. Let's say, okay, close it, restart now. So you guys remember we created a user called FCT user 1, as I remember. I think I took a photo. Let me check. Yes, it was FCT user 01. So I'll try to log into the domain using that specific user. That means the FCT user 01. Okay, so we are here. So I'm going to go to other user. You can see sign into FCTs there. So I'm going to say FCT user 01, and I'm going to give the strong password that I created before, and hopefully I should be able to log in. Yes. So this is how you configure it, and you can find the commands and the codes that I used in the description. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.